Hey, good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Studios with the weather report, exclusively for you Facebook subscribers and YouTube members here on your August the 14th, 2026. It also happens to be Free Sampler Friday, so everybody on Facebook and everybody on YouTube, you get your opportunity to be part of this special family. You can subscribe or you can become a member and help contribute to our efforts to build this into a professional 24-hour channel. All right, let's go and get into today's report. I did not do an update yesterday. For many of you guys out there in the social media world, you know I was moving with my dad, getting all his stuff packed up, going down to Florida, and boy, I wiped myself out. I would just hit the wall, man. I was very tired. But I'm back today, ready to get you guys ready for the weekend. Of course, the big weather story has got to be the heat wave moving in. Oh, God, I'm so ready for fall. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to cool off and start to see, pumpkin everything. I'm just ready for it. But until then, we got to deal with the heat. And folks, looks like this is going to linger a little bit. It's not going away real fast. So anyway, we'll start off with a live look there. Blairsville, Brasstown Bald, which, by the way, being at 4,700 feet, I just checked their temperature. They're at 62 degrees. That actually feels not bad. Braselton down here, I'm at 77 this morning. So it is, needless to say, it is a pretty warm and steamy morning out there right now. But anyway, let's get into our other live cameras there. Looking over Helen. I got a funny feeling the tubing industry is going to be very busy this weekend. I'm going to go on a limb here and say it's probably going to be pretty busy in Helen for folks to try to cool off. Athens campus, of course, folks getting ready to head on back to school and get things going. I think a lot of folks are already moving in and ready to get the school year started there in Athens. And there's that sunny, hazy look over the UNG campus there in Dahlonega. Definitely going to be a hot one. Even into the mountains, folks. Even the mountain locations are going to be seeing some 90s today and through the entire weekend. There's Dalton, Georgia, looking pretty good. Dalton, good morning up there in Sky Valley, Northeast Georgia, up there in the Northeast Georgia mountains, way up there in Rabun County, looking pretty good here this morning as well. All right, let's look at the current map. Not much to show you here. Got a couple of week troughs. We got temperatures here in the 70s. We still popped a few thunderstorms yesterday. I heard some here just sitting in my couch trying to recover from yesterday. But it is pretty hot and steamy, folks. And it doesn't take a lot to get yourself dehydrated. I think I got a little dehydrated myself yesterday, even though I was still drinking fluids. Still very muggy out there, to say the least. Now, what I think is interesting, you kind of look at this satellite picture. You kind of see a little flow here, kind of moving like this. So some of this high-level clouds blowing across our area right now for this morning. And looks like we'll see a few storms possible tomorrow as well. There'll be a severe component with that. But today, kind of a general thunderstorm threat. But again, when we got this kind of heat, folks, you can still pop a severe weather event just about at any time. So we are looking at some heavy rain potentials here, maybe sneaking into extreme northeast Georgia. That's your day one outlook here from the weather prediction, folks, as far as excessive rains. Tomorrow, that'll shift down to the south as a little bit of energy kind of slides down through the Carolinas. And then after that, now we got nothing for you here. This is going into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We got nothing. So, again, that's part of that heat dome. Now, question is, how long is this thing going to last? Just hold on. I'm going to answer that for you here in just a second, all right? Now, severe weather-wise, again, today's just a general thunderstorm threat, but as I mentioned, tomorrow, day two, we got a marginal there kind of coming in, sneaking into northeast Georgia, coming down toward the west side. So it's going to favor the eastern areas here for potential storms. They're going a little bit closer so you can kind of get a general idea where it's going to be. But again, that's strong gusty winds will be the big thing there. That's what we're talking about. That's your day two. And then day three, we're back to just a general thunderstorm threat here across Georgia. But again, very sparse with any kind of rains overall for the entire weekend. So some may get it. Most probably won't. All right, quick look out in the tropics. I want to point out a couple of things. We know that big one we were tracking, 80% development, that thing is just taking a beating out there in the Atlantic. Like I said, the environment out there ain't very good. And we got this one follow behind it. And then the Pacific, of course, is very busy, this one. And even out in Hawaii, they're even talking about a hurricane getting there. And this is the weirdest thing. I have never seen, this is projecting a tropical storm. I don't ever recall seeing one that far north in the Pacific, but I just really can tell you how crazy the weather is right now. All right, let's go look here at the radar. Again, nothing out in the tropics really worried about right now. If we get something that changes that, I'll post it on Facebook, and we'll keep you updated here as well. So anyway, radar is quiet for the moment. Again, get some late day heating. We might get, I said, thunderstorm or two out there. And again, it could have a little kick to it, especially with all the heat energy that's available. All right, so local temperatures mostly in the 70s out there. When you see upper 70s around Metro Atlanta, you know you're in store for a pretty hot and steamy day, to say the least, here for this afternoon. And the rapid refresh not really showing all that much here, really, for the entirety of its entire run here. So what we get here for today is going to be very sparse. I mean, it's showing like there's a little storm up there. Clayton is showing up here by 4 o'clock. Very isolated, not seeing a whole lot of activity here. And then going into your Saturday, you see that eastern, see where it's favoring the eastern zone. This is even a little bit further to the east, but you kind of get the general idea. The eastern zone, you guys in the west may not get anything. So this is for tomorrow, going into your Saturday. And then just plain old hot there going into Sunday. Seeing a little activity again, maybe to the east there on Sunday. But that's about it. So, again, very sparse with that rain there. And that's where the heavier rains are falling. See Clayton showing 2.5. Highlands up there in North Carolina up over 2 inches. So, very limited rain here going into next Monday's. Next 84 hours are looking pretty dry. All right. Temperature-wise, let's talk about this. We're going to have temperatures even sneaking into the 90s in the mountains. I think this model, to be honest with you, I think it's a little underdone, just a little. But it's going to be very, very hot. Needless to say, 96 Atlanta, 96 Calhoun, 95 in Jefferson. Pretty hot there for this afternoon. And then going for your morning lows tomorrow, they're going to be quite muggy. Everybody here in the look at Atlanta, 78 degrees at 6 o'clock, 72 in Hiawassee. We can't even get the 60s in the mountains going into Saturday morning. And then going into your Saturday afternoon, again, it's popping very hot. I mean, 91 in Dahlonega. That should tell you something right there. We're popping 90s there. Then we'll get a few storms. You see it kind of pop and cool off just a little bit. But I see 100 over there in Crawfordville, 99, 101 over there on the South Carolina border, 96 in Lafayette. So it is very hot, to say the least. And then going into your Sunday morning, again, we'll see temperatures staying quite warm. All right, let's talk jet stream. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. When is this heat wave going to get the heck out of here? That's the question I know I'm getting a lot of out there. I can hear y'all talking and grumbling. So let's get into this. All right, so let's look at the jet stream. And we look at the jet stream because it's what drives our weather. It's where everything is going on. So what we got going on for the weekend is we've got a big ridge. We got a trough. This is our storm out here. We got a big old ridge here. So we got high pressure sitting in here. So this is our heat dome right there, sitting over the southeast. Okay, when are we going to break that thing down? All right, I think we start to see relief going into the following weekend. At least that's the way the current model is trending now. I'd like to get a little bit closer to say that's an absolute, but as we go through next week, you see that high pressure ridge begins to flatten out a little bit. So what that means, I think our highest temperatures are going to be heading into Monday, and then we'll kind of be trending downward a little bit after that. Then as we go into the following weekend, look at this going into Saturday. All right, now we got some ridging going on out here in the west. Here comes the trough. So this should bring our temperature down. Is it going to be a big cool-off? No. This ain't a fall air mass. It'll get us back to seasonable levels where we're supposed to be. 80s, right around 90 degrees, that kind of thing. At least we'll bring that back down. So I'll show you that on the European here in just a second as far as that. But that trough comes in place. Looks like it pitches off an upper low again. We saw that a lot of times during the summer this year. And then there's another trough coming in behind that. So, again, if we could beat down that ridge, here's our subtropical staying active. Here's a little bit of ridging like this. So, again, that will hopefully bring down a cool down. So, the question is, will it be there tomorrow? That's what we got to watch. So we'll watch for that model continuity and see if we've got some relief coming in here. I was telling everybody, remember a couple days ago, I was saying, hey, I think once we get into September, the pattern's going to switch up here. So if it comes in a little earlier, I'm not complaining. I'm definitely not going to complain about that. So anyway, not a whole lot to show you here as far as precipitation. We're gonna slow this down. Obviously, we're gonna track it day by day for the next 7 days. We focus on 7 days on this model here, so you get an idea of what's going on here. Again, this is a global model, so it's a bigger snapshot, bigger pixelation here. So, all right. So as we go into Friday afternoon, not showing a whole lot, showing a little bit there. Obviously for today, we already talked about Friday, and then going into your Saturday afternoon, it's a little bit further to the west. So we'll see what happens with the rainfall setup here for Saturday. But then going into your Sunday, again, kind of favoring the eastern zones here a little bit. But I think they're going to be isolated. And then Monday, not showing much there at all on Monday, is it? Yeah, Monday looking pretty dry. Tuesday, got some isolated stuff out there. Seeing something kind of working today now. Pretty active over in Alabama on Tuesday. How about Wednesday? Check in Wednesday afternoon. Not a lot. Wednesday looking kind of dry. Thursday. All right, looks like we got a front trying to come down there. There's that front. See there going up and up here? We may have a weak front trying to work its way down. Here it is on Thursday. And there's another push coming from the north too. So that northwest flow is returning. All right, so that's a good indication of that. Remember that trough starts to dig in here. That high pressure begins to build down there. So we're getting some better chance of some storms heading south. And then going into that following weekend, looks like it dries out that northwest flow. So that looks like we cool things down going into the following weekend, dry things out a little bit, and that'll be a welcome relief. So next 7 days, not showing a whole lot of rain here, folks. Definitely, I would call this below normal precipitation-wise here. And then we'll take it out to 240 the next 10 days. Gets a little bit better. All right. And then finally all the way out the end of the run a little bit. So average, a little bit below, I would say, here for the most part for the next couple of weeks. Now, let's talk turkey. Let's talk hot heat wave. Let's talk, when are we going to say goodbye to this red stuff in here, all right? All right, so we already know we're above normal here for today. So let's get into this. Watch this. All right, let's get going. So let's take this off. I'm going to take my glasses off for a second so I can read this better. All right, so let's go into your Saturday afternoon. Again, we're looking at double digits, above normal temperatures on Saturday, obviously. This is going to linger, folks. And obviously, when you see the blues, that's when some rain starts to pop a little bit, right? All right, so here's your Sunday afternoon. Again, pretty hot. Got some storms out there. Monday afternoon. All right, 11 degrees, 15 degrees above normal, 12 above normal. So, again, I've been tracking Monday as the hottest day with this heat wave, so I'm going to maintain that. Tuesday, I got a little rain showing up there across the north, but again, double digits here across everything there. That moves to the south. Wednesday, can't seem to pop that red, can we? 9 above in Atlanta, 9 above in Gainesville, 8 above in Dalton, so still staying plenty hot there. Thursday, 13 above in Dahlonega, 9 above in Hiawassee, 15 in Lafayette, 9, 11 in Dallas. I got another hot day on Thursday, but that's before that front. Remember, get that energy start to come down there, like you see there. See what drops down on the afternoon because rain comes in. Yeah, that's that system coming down. And then we go into Friday. Okay, a little bit better there, just a little bit. Look at that. Friday afternoon, got some rain. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. So we start chipping away a little bit. And then going into that following weekend, this is your Saturday. All right, there you go. Like I said, getting back to at least seasonable levels here on Saturday. And going into Sunday, same thing. So we just got to get through next week. I think Thursday we start seeing those changes. And then with rain chances coming back up the end next week. And then going into the following weekend, we bring it back down to more manageable levels. All right. So heat wave's going to stick around for at least a week, the way it's looking right now. 5 days, I'd say. And then we start to back it off next Thursday. 5-6 days, something like that. All right. So here goes our temperatures. We already talked about the 2 days there. We already talked about today and tomorrow. This is going from Sunday. We're going out 7 days. Going next Thursday. All right. Let's go into your Monday. New week. And there's still plenty of heat. 98 in Dalton. 98 in Atlanta. At least this is backed off a little bit. If you remember last week, it was popping 102 in Atlanta. So it's backed off a little bit. That's why I wasn't putting it in my forecast. Wanted to wait till we got within about 84 hours. All right. But still, plenty of heat out there. Plenty hot. All right, let's go into your Tuesday. All right, this is showing a little rain, obviously, across North Georgia. But still plenty of heat all around the periphery here. Wednesday. Still a lot of 90s. 87 in the mountains. Not quite as bad, but back it off just a little bit. And then finally going into Thursday. Thursday, it was popping hot again. Remember, came down a little bit, went right back up again because that's ahead of that next front that's coming down. But very hot there on Thursday, too. Now, let's go. I'm going to go beyond the 7 day. Let's talk about the weekend, that following weekend. All right. All right. This still is a little warm on Friday, but we're definitely tapping into it a little bit. We got some rains coming in, cools us off there by 8 o'clock. And then Saturday afternoon. All right. Look at that. That's more like it. There you go. 88 in Atlanta, 85 Dahlonega. Yeah, that's more where it's supposed to be, right? So, climate outlook. Still showing us very hot here in the 6 to 10 day, obviously. All right. Now, where I disagree with the climate center is based off what the European's showing. It's got to be there tomorrow to see that continuity, okay? But it's possible as we go 21st to 27th, we'll see this kind of chip away a little bit. All right. Precipitation-wise, has this average. I think we're below, but I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. But, yeah, we're staying dry here for the most part. We're definitely not above normal with the precipitation, that's for sure. And that's for the 21st to the 27th. So no big changes there. So, 7-day forecast. Here's what I got for you here. Still popping. Monday is our hottest day. Gainesville flirting with the century mark. Hopefully that comes up a little short. And then kind of mid-90s. And that Thursday forecast, subject to change. If the European holds true here, we may bring that temperature down a little bit. We may bring the rain chance up a little bit. So Thursday forecast, I want another run here. Take a look at that and see what's going on in that weekend. But going into that following weekend, we should back the temperatures off. Let's pray that that forecast trend holds, all right? Now, we're going to continue to watch what goes on with the El Nino. Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on there. This is a very strong El Nino that we're going to have. No such thing as a super El Nino. I'm just going to say it again. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. But that's going to have a real big impact on our weather this fall and winter. Okay, my official winter outlook will come out in October. I'm going to wait till I get within about 3 months of it, and then I'll give you what I expect here for us. Okay, I know there's a lot of people posting their already outlooks out there already. I want to wait to get a little closer because I just want to look at different parameters. I want to look at this. I want to look at what's going on here. Just want to wait till I get a little bit closer to get a good snapshot of what's going on. All right. Anyway, appreciate you guys checking us out. Again, if you've not yet joined us as a subscriber, we've added some new subscribers, so I want to welcome you guys aboard. And we've added some new members here as well, so I want to welcome you guys aboard. So if you want to be a part of that, come on board, help us out here. Again, it's a couple bucks. Yeah, you're basically hiring me as your personal weather guy. I try to answer all the questions from you guys here, specifically, kind of a smaller snapshot when we got such a big family here. And I do appreciate you guys' efforts. And as far as let you know about how my dad is doing, got him all his stuff moved. They're all floating it down in Florida. My sister's taking care of that down there. My mom's moving into a place down there. And Dad is going to inpatient physical therapy. He's doing better up here, but the body's saying, okay, I'm not quite there yet. So after this little infection he had to fight. So he's going to be there for a little while. Then he's going to come home. We're going to be with me for a little bit until I get his teeth done. Then I'll be able to move him down to Florida, but not until I get him all settled in here. So, but he's doing better. And thank you all for the prayers and things out there. Like I said, I was completely exhausted yesterday. I couldn't even lift a finger, and I'm still physically tired now. I am taking the weekend off. I still post some stuff, but I am going to be trying to do some things. I think we're going to go to North Georgia Mountains on Saturday. I need to get some fun. Maybe go to a waterfall too. Just kind of take it easy a little bit. Anyway, that's y'all's update for today. Y'all be good, stay safe, and I appreciate you being part of this family. You guys take it easy. Have a great, safe weekend. And again, do your best to stay cool. Don't overheat out there. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.